Hello, my friends. I am Bee, and this is Bee's Intuition. Today, we're going to do a reading all about your manifestations and how close are they. As you can see, I am back at my old setup. Not really my old setup, just my indoor setup. If you have never seen it before, this is what it looks like. Yeah, it's been really rainy where I live. Like really rainy, so I haven't really been able to go outside to do readings, but this is fine. Not my favorite way of doing readings, but it won't stop me one bit because I still like doing these and I'm gonna keep on doing them no matter what. Anyways, let's just dive right into it. Okay, please and thank you, Spirit. How close are the collective's manifestations? Please and thank you. The manifestations that the collective is working towards, how close are those to approaching the collective? Please and thank you. Or being seen in the collective's life? Please and thank you, Spirit. How close are these manifestations? Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you. How close are these manifestations? Please and thank you, Spirit. How close are these manifestations for the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. How close are these manifestations to the collective? Ooh. Very interesting. Alrighty. Ooh, very interesting. Well then. Okay. So what we have, the King of Swords, the Seven of Swords, Four of Wands, Ten of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles. I think that Six of Pentacles is a really good sign. Okay, well, let's just start clarifying, shall we? Get a little context here. Starting out with that King of Swords. Please and thank you, Spirit. How close are the collective's manifestations? And tell us more about this King of Swords. What kind of part are they playing in all of this? I'm gonna take that one too. One fell on the floor. Okay, let me see what that one was that fell on to the floor. Don't you know? Okay. Cool. So, clarifying that King of Swords, we have the Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups, Ten of Swords, Seven of Cups, King of Cups, and then what fell out onto the floor was the Four of Cups and the Eight of Wands. They came out in this direction. So we're gonna check all of that out. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Wands. Oh. This King of Swords is in their feelings about you. So the Ace of Wands being the first one to come out to clarify this King of Swords, I think is maybe a reason why they are in their feels about you. The Ace of Wands can sometimes have a very spicy sort of energy to it. I feel like this King of Swords started something with you in a physical... No, it feels more so like their intentions were more physical at first, but then they realized that they had this like 10 of Cups with you, which is like their, you know, happily ever after. Like this is an ideal situation here, full of emotional contentment, happiness, building a life together with another person. But it's interesting how we go from that to the Ten of Swords, which is rock bottom, feeling absolutely awful, usually a very painful ending. So it makes me feel like this could be an ex of yours. Yeah, yeah. It feels like you're the one that put a stop to something here. And maybe it was because they were showing up in that Ace of Wands energy. Maybe this Knight of Wands energy even. The Knight of Wands has a reputation of being a player. Okay. Maybe you couldn't take this person seriously. But it's like when they were with you, they saw everything with you. But I feel like they messed up somehow in a very serious way. So much so that you may not want anything to do with this person. There could have been a really painful ending in this, either for you or them or both of you. Most of these types of, relationship breakups, I would say, usually it's a mutual thing. Nobody ever wants to end a relationship, really. And then we go from that Ten of Swords, we have the Seven of Cups and the King of Cups. I feel like time has passed and now they are looking at you confused. They're not sure where you're at emotionally or if you're at all open or interested in them anymore. You also may have a lot of options. And the King of Cups here makes me feel like this separation, because the King of Swords, which is what we're clarifying here, very lacking in emotions typically, especially outward presenting emotions. And then this King of Cups is really the opposite. A lot of emotions overflowing, overwhelming. So maybe it's the fact that they're seeing that you have a whole lot of options. It's making them feel very emotionally drawn to you. And the thing about these emotions, and I feel like the King of Cups would be a good example of this, is people that experience intense emotions, they can very much go back and forth with like that, love slash hate, or, they may go back and forth on how they feel about you. They themselves might be confused about what they feel for you. But it feels like they have these strong feelings for you and they are aware of that now. Maybe they weren't before. Maybe they tried to ignore this happily ever after energy they felt with you. They could have, they could have sabotaged something here that could have been very beautiful. I feel like they're overwhelmed with emotions now, and they're sitting heavily in regret over what has happened or what never got the chance to happen. Because I feel like this could very easily be somebody who tried to act like they just wanted you for spicy reasons. But they did have those feelings deep down, and they could have sabotaged before this even had a chance to take off. The Ten of Swords could definitely indicate a lot of overthinking, toxic, unhealthy mindsets, especially when it comes to relationships. I also feel like that Ten of Cups, it feels almost like you could have been this person's like the love of their life, but they didn't know how to cope with that, I guess, because it seems like their mind may have had a lot of bad associations with like long-term commitment. They could have, yeah, definitely. They probably definitely thought this was too good to be true. And I almost feel like they could have thought themselves out of this, even though it was what they truly wanted. And now it feels like they're on the outside looking in at your life, And you seem to be fine. You have a lot of options. You're probably very attractive. And this person's in their feels now. And that kind of brings us to this Four of Cups, Eight of Wands energy coming out in this direction. This reminds me so much, I think, of the last reading I did. There was an energy in that reading, I want to say, and they had a very similar energy to this. I wonder if this is the same person. Anyways, the Four of Cups and the Eight of Wands coming out like this, that seems like there's something about their pride getting in the way here. They are afraid to communicate. They also feel like you don't want them anymore, which maybe you don't. You know, depending on what took place here, they could have put you through a lot of stress or confusion. Mind confusion, like mind games maybe. They could have also acted like they were disinterested in you when they probably wanted you more than anything. So it's like they played themselves in some way. It feels very much like they only have themselves to blame. Also, you could have been very emotionally vulnerable with this person and they acted closed off to that. Made you feel like your cup of love was not enough. Like they wanted something else. Yeah, they held themselves back. They also held back that communication that would have shown you how much they value you, how much they want you, how attracted they are to you. Maybe there was also maybe a, who knows, maybe they said something or acted in a way that almost felt like you weren't attractive enough for this person. I feel like they're thinking really heavily about how they have messed up and they never got the chance to see this through, to see this move forward. With authenticity, with truth, honesty, you know, a genuine sharing of emotions. Yeah, they're heavily in regret right now. They never got to see this grow. They never got to see this all the way through, I feel. So either this was an ex who ended things prematurely, or this is somebody that just straight up sabotaged to the point where this never really even took off to begin with. It feels like a lot of immaturity, but they're realizing that they were immature, that their mind was in the wrong place. They didn't act with authenticity. Because if they were authentic in this connection, they would have expressed their true feelings and would have emphasized how much you mean to them, which I feel like they could have done the opposite. Especially with this Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. This could be somebody that feels more comfortable being seen as a player. Not getting emotionally too close to any one person. That's like their reputation, and maybe that's how they identify. Like at first, they could have just seen this as a conquest, but they could have quickly realized how much this truly meant to them. They could have seen you more so as a conquest to begin with, but that Ten of Cups would indicate to me that they quickly found out that their feelings We're way, way, way deeper than just a superficial connection here. I'm gonna see what's underneath this Knight of Wands. Three of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is a card of action. The Three of Wands can definitely be like the time is now for something. So it is fairly likely that this person wants to come towards you. The sooner the better, in their opinion. But there's a lot of wand action, which makes me think that you're going to see them as a player. You're going to see them as being superficial. Maybe they're hoping that enough time has passed, that maybe you'll forgive them, maybe you'll let them back in, maybe you won't care if they're a player or whatever. They also may have a different perspective on this now that they want to share with you. Maybe they realize something about themselves and maybe how they may be quite insecure. And maybe they were too much in their ego at the time to realize why they self-sabotaged was because of their own insecurities. Maybe when they self-sabotaged this, they weren't quite sure why they did it. But now, because they've been in a period of reflection over this, they have clarity that they would like to share with you. But I honestly feel like what they share with you will probably not be anything new or anything that you haven't figured out on your own, you know? Because maybe you could see like, okay, this person is clearly moving in a way that indicates that they're incredibly insecure. So I feel like you could have already seen this person's truth and now they're finally seeing their own truth and they're like, I need to share this revelation with the collective. And the collective is just going to be like, yeah, I know. Because yeah, this person's like a little bit late to the deeper understandings of themselves in this connection, whereas you probably already know. I'm gonna just see what's underneath that Three of Wands. Three of Swords. Interesting. 3-3. We have 3-3. We also have 10-10. Those could be significant numbers, maybe to indicate when this person's planning on coming in. So maybe if you see these numbers, it's an indication perhaps that this person's making plans. This person's stuck in the past. This person's stuck in the past. And the way that I mean that is like that Three of Swords. And it's interesting too. I don't know if you can quite see what I'm saying, but it almost looks like this person with their back to us is looking at that Three of Swords. The way that it is like that. It's like this person's looking at the Three of Swords. And I feel like they want to say something about how hard of a past they have had in love. Maybe in life. This could have been maybe multiple different areas of life. Maybe not just specifically love. But I don't know. It feels like this is somebody that can't get over their past. Somebody that may refuse to heal. May feel like they can't possibly move forward from all of this pain. And that could also be the reason why they're in this player energy, because they feel safe in that energy. Whereas if they were emotionally vulnerable with you, they would feel unsafe because in their past, when they were emotionally vulnerable, they got hurt. It's almost like their mind ruminates in that darkness of the past and that those maybe traumatizing events, traumatizing experiences. And I don't know, there's something about being in the present moment, but it almost feels like something impulsive. I don't really know how to articulate that message. It's almost like I almost feel like this person doesn't really plan for the future, or maybe they struggle with doing that. I don't think I've seen any. Yeah, I haven't seen any pentacle cards yet, which would tell me that this person lacks stability, uh, maybe even a foundation within themselves, within their life. Because it almost feels like they don't think about tomorrow. They think about what happened to them in the past, and they think about what can I do in this moment. They lack forethought, they lack planning, they lack, they lack stability, they lack planning, forethought. They may lack responsibility. Or maybe they're the kind of person that blames their irresponsibility on others or their past. Because it's like they're very much in the past, they're very much in the present, but they lack thinking about the future, or they don't like thinking about the future, or they just have no future plans. Maybe they don't know where to see themselves in like 5 years, 10 years, whatever. That could, it does kind of remind me a little bit of like ADHD perhaps, or depression, but that's not really to make excuses for this person, but it may give us some understanding for, you know, why they are this way. Yeah. It feels like they kind of want to come in and sort of tell you a sob story. And you know, they probably have been through some rough stuff, but it feels like they ruminate within that. It's almost like they marinate in it. They feel more comfortable associating with their trauma than associating with some sort of stable future or a future of happiness, something that does not reflect their experiences of the past. Very odd. Let's go on to the Seven of Swords. Actually, let me break this down to go back to the theme of this reading. So, if you're looking for an apology from this person, that's like something that you'd like to manifest, this could be very soon that they apologize for what happened. But I feel like they're not in the right kind of place to maybe make an authentic apology, or an apology that really feels heartfelt, that really, it might just not be a very satisfying apology. And they may even try to get into bed with you. That's also something here because of this Knight of Wands and that Ace of Wands, Three of Wands. Yeah, there's like a lot of attraction to you. They may even try to say like, I'm not emotionally available, but I'm available for spicy things. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you want out of this person, but it feels like if they were to apologize to you, which I feel like that's their intention, somehow they're gonna make it about themselves and not so much about, I did you wrong, I am sorry. Because it almost is like they want to explain why they did it instead of just accepting that they messed up and apologizing. Pretty much I feel like they're going to make it more about them than about you, which I feel like is kind of toxic. They could also maybe lack the ability to see other people's perspectives. But, well, in terms of manifestations, this could be somebody that you did want at one point. Because the thing about manifestations is sometimes, you know, the whole divine timing thing, we can sometimes forget that we were trying to manifest like a specific person when we were actually like head over heels in love with them, or, you know, while we were still dealing with them. And then we forget about kind of wishing for that person, and then years pass, and then all of a sudden that person that we wished for like years ago comes back into the picture and is like, I'm ready now. And you're just like, no, I'm over you. I don't feel those ways anymore. I've grown, I've changed. I probably am seeing other people. Like, it's interesting. So it could definitely be one of those past manifestation thingies where it's like, this person didn't show up the way that you wanted in the timing that you wanted it, but now time has passed. I feel like this person's ready to make a re-entry, to apologize, and probably see if there's anything between the two of you that they can explore with you. They do have feelings for you, but again, they lack that stability. They lack that forethought to plan for the future. So I don't know how much you're gonna want this person. I feel like they're gonna be very open to you. They're gonna apologize. They're gonna want something to begin with you, but it may be more physical. And it may be lacking in planning and stability. But yeah, this could definitely be like a past manifestation that's coming in for you. And you know, in maybe some sort of karmic way, it's like a good thing, I guess, because it's like they're trying to balance the karmic scales here by apologizing. But I do feel like it's gonna maybe miss the mark. Or maybe it's like even past the point of wanting an apology from this person. Maybe you've healed and grown and moved on with your life at this point. But yeah, okay. They just really want to come in and apologize and see if you're open to anything non-serious. Pretty much, that's what I feel. Okay, so that's that first one. And that may not be like a super helpful message. It's like, oh great, the guy that I dated 10 years ago is gonna come in and give me some BS sob story as an apology, but that's what I'm seeing here. They may also try to pull at your heartstrings because their feelings for you were real and are real. But again, they lack stability, they lack forethought. I don't think that they have the ability to plan for the future, at least not right now. Maybe if you wanted to see how this grows, maybe eventually they would learn how to kind of plan for the future and all that, be more responsible. But as it stands now with this energy, I would say that they're probably not super stable and they're probably not super long-term oriented. But yeah, that's that part. Let's go on to the Seven of Swords. Please and thank you, Spirit. How close is the collective's manifestations? And what does the Seven of Swords have to do with all that? How close is the collective's manifestations? Anything else for that Seven of Swords? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay. Jeez Louise. Okay. Well, so we have the Five of Swords in the reverse. Three of Swords upright. Eight of Swords. Six of Wands. And then we have the Tower. Five of Cups. Four of Wands. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands again. So right off the bat, I feel like this is someone that you see as deceitful. Or maybe you feel like they're hiding something. Or maybe this is something that took place in the past, where it's like somebody gave you bad vibes. The Five of Swords coming out in the reverse, and that being like the first card to come out, I feel like that could be their intention here. Of putting some sort of conflict between the two of you to rest. But the Five of Swords energy is a really rough energy to go through, so I don't know how easily you can forgive this person for what they put you through. At the very worst, it can be like mental abuse. Sometimes I see it as that. or just like bullying energy. Somebody that's just not thoughtful about other people. But they want to apologize, they want to make amends here. I feel like they want to talk about how heartbroken they've been, how they've been very stuck in their head. Maybe even feeling trapped in their old ways. Or there's like something here about, it's almost like they formed this sense of a prison around them, and it's almost like they only have themselves to blame for maybe the bad karma that they receive, the consequences to their actions. They may also acknowledge that they hurt you. Then the Six of Wands is such an interesting energy to follow, all that Swords energy. That is a card of triumph. Success, being seen as successful. Ooh, I think I see. That could be you. Because it definitely feels like a different energy. So they may be looking at you being successful, being seen as being successful. So this actually could be, so I think there's like a main storyline, but then the side storyline or plot line is like, I feel like this is you receiving your manifestations. The manifestations that you actually want, that make you feel good, that make you feel confident, maybe in your abilities, makes you feel like, oh, I'm on top of the world, you know, like this feeling is great. People acknowledging you for maybe your hard work and that hard work paying off for you. Okay, so it feels like you're in a really good place, but this person isn't. They could feel heartbroken about how they treated you in the past. Maybe there was even words left unsaid because they were so in their own head. Their thoughts controlled them and their actions. This is so interesting. And then we have the Tower card. And then that was followed by the Five of Cups and the Four of Wands. Oh, I think I see now. So this, why does that feel like that Tower card? It's almost like they see you in this success mode. Maybe receiving your manifestations, receiving your good karma. Because I really do feel like this person's receiving their bad karma. And then on the other end of it, you're over there receiving good karma. And then the Tower card, why do I feel like they're like, so this could definitely be an ego death, but I also feel like, so, or maybe just like a really heavy blow to their ego, but also it kind of feels like the world is ending. It feels very dramatic. Like seeing you having success triggers them. This could also be somebody with anger issues. Maybe you remember this person as having anger issues, which could make sense with that Five of Swords. Somebody that just doesn't care what they say to another person, even if it is something that is just so cruel and heartless. Maybe at some points you thought this person did not have a heart. Like they're that removed from their emotions. They could also struggle with mental health, of course, but of course that is no excuse for any sort of abuse or bullying that took place here. And then following that Tower card, the Five of Cups, it feels very much like this person is heartbroken, but it feels almost like a reaction to your own success and good luck and good karma. Because then it would make a lot more sense that this Four of Wands is here, especially following that Five of Cups. So it definitely feels like you're either A, accomplishing some good goals here, like personal goals that you've been working on for some time maybe, because that's something I see with the Four of Wands sometimes. It's like personal milestones, surpassing those, being happy, being thrilled, celebrating that. But also the Four of Wands can be a card of union, coming together with another person. Typically romantically, it's associated with that. So it's like, I feel like you in some way have had your glow up. You have come into success, or you're going to. And then you may either have like a really beautiful union with somebody that actually like truly cares about you, somebody that maybe you have a lot of stability with. This could be like an important milestone for you. This could be like really serious long-term commitment, and maybe that's like a milestone for you. But I feel like things are looking really good on your end, but this person's just like falling apart in the background while you're getting your blessings. But the Seven of Swords, which is what this is all clarifying, this is somebody that either tried to deceive you or did deceive you in the past. And you, I almost feel like you cannot unsee what you have seen within this person's soul. You've seen the very darkest depths to this person, I feel. And you don't trust them. You also may think that they're manipulative, and also that they lie. I feel like you're able to see through this person's lies, even if they are very convincing. And maybe that's just from being around this person in the past. You kind of learned their like tells, you know? I don't think you're very open to this person. Ooh, with that Eight of Swords, maybe you even blocked them from being able to communicate with you. That also would make sense on an energetic level, why your energies are so drastically different from one another. You could have blocked this person for what they did to you. Or maybe what they tried to do to you, but it feels like they hurt you in some way. But it's interesting because I feel like almost there's something about their energy that feels almost like a poison. I'm getting like this vision in my mind of like food dye being dripped into water and how it kind of just like disperses like that. I don't know why. But okay, like applying that to like the poison message, it almost feels like, you know, in that instance of that food coloring, it's like as soon as it hits the water, it doesn't just affect a small part of the water, it affects the whole whatever vessel that it the whole bottle or cup or whatever the water is in, it affects all of the water in it, not just like a little bit. So I feel like in some ways this person is kind of like a I hate to say this, but it feels like a Cancer, and not the zodiac sign, but like somebody that just destroys, their energy destroys. That could also be a part of like why they are in such regret, is like they're realizing that they are kind of a monster. But I feel like it's almost like because you separated yourself from this person so maybe dramatically, so drastically, like if they were in your life still, you wouldn't be where you're at or where you're coming into. But because you removed this person like a tumor out of your life, their life is going down the crapper, but your life is looking great and bright and beautiful. And that really triggers them because it almost is like a reminder that they fucked up or that they did something really shitty here. Like, because, you know, sometimes we don't always like see. Sometimes it, you know, or at least certain people, they may need like some sort of visual reminder of maybe karma, or like looking for a difference between lifestyles and seeing that you're getting all of these great opportunities whereas their life is stagnant and miserable. So it's almost like a dramatic reminder to this person that karma exists, that they were the problem. And that's not to say that you didn't play your part in all of it. I'm sure like there was maybe moments that you were unhealed and stuff, but overall it feels like they were very toxic. And now your life is looking wonderful and they are triggered, like consumed by their thoughts, consumed by heartbreak and pain, negativity. It's like they are surrounded by darkness, but it almost feels like this is the darkness that they sort of project out there, you know? It's kind of like their own darkness. It feels like they're kind of drowning in themselves to some extent. But it feels like maybe it's a necessary part of their journey, you know? Because maybe it takes that moment to realize I need to change. I can't live like this forever. Or maybe they just get used to being in that darkness and they just let it consume them. I don't know. But it feels like you're doing really well. So either this is just after you've received your manifestations, or this like currently, like that they are looking at you and they're like, wow, they have everything and I have nothing, but I have no one to blame that on other than myself. Okay. So I was worried at first. I was thinking that maybe this would be the same person as we saw before with that King of Swords, but I feel like this could be a different person. This one feels actually more so like an ex, whereas the King of Swords could have been like a sort of situationship. This one feels like an ex, like that really put you through the ringer. Like this is somebody that you saw up close and personal. You saw all of the darkness in this person. And I feel like they know that you know this. Because like I said, you can't unsee it. The darkness in this person is just too crazy. Like it's just too dark. You just can't be around this person and live a happy life, it feels like. And that's probably why you blocked them. Damn. And so I'm curious what this Knight of Wands is about. I almost feel like this Knight of Wands could be you in this very lighthearted, passion-driven, excited energy. It almost feels like while they're stuck and stagnant, you're moving. You're moving forward with your life. You're going towards new opportunities. You're taking advantage of any opportunity that comes your way. Things are really looking up for you. You're having a lot of good luck. And you're very much in motion. You're very much like feeling good and in motion. Whereas this person is like standing still and feeling miserable. And they're just overwhelmed by the gray and the darkness that they're surrounded by. I'm curious what's underneath that Knight of Wands. So the Three of Wands again. Interesting though, because we have the Three of Swords here. So I'm going to see what's underneath this Three of Wands here. Six of Cups. Why do I also feel like there's something about you standing out in a big way here? I think it is this, and what is it called? The Wild Unknown deck. I believe it's the Knight of Wands, that the wand is like lit up and very bright and bold. Um, so maybe that's where I'm getting this energy of like there being some sort of light within you, or a light on you, like a spotlight, so to speak. Or maybe like a limelight, like you're being seen in this confident, energetic energy. Also, the background on this card, golden backgrounds, they're meant to be like the happier cards of the deck. So, and also this Four of Wands has that happy background as well. So I feel like you are currently in a lot of brightness, happiness. You're also like looking forward to the future in a positive way. You see a very bright future ahead of you. This Six of Cups underneath, it feels like this person almost realizes why you're receiving this good karma. Because any sort of past experience that they can think of with you is you showing up in this kind, giving, loving energy. And maybe they just kept taking and taking and taking. They never thought that you would stop giving to them. They never thought that they would be without you. And so it's almost like they're thinking back on their experiences with you, and they see the beautiful heart that you have. And it's almost like they're saying to themselves, that's why they're receiving all of this good karma, because you have a genuine loving heart. Whereas they don't really have that same pureness of heart that you have or embody. And I almost feel like they're looking back on the past with you with a lot of deep regret. They probably are hating themselves for taking advantage of this kindness, this love. I also feel like this kind of indicates to me, because like as I was saying earlier, it almost looks like this person's looking forward and looking at this card. And so I feel like you also have a clear conscience here. I feel like you also look back on the past and you see that you really didn't do anything wrong. All you did was maybe try to love this person or try to heal them, because if they were very mentally ill, I guess, or just mentally struggling, you could have seen them as like a project, I guess, or like, oh, I can heal them. I just need to love them. And like if I keep giving them love, eventually they'll heal, eventually they'll grow, eventually they'll change, transform for the better. But I really don't think that happened here, because this person feels very kind of stuck in this toxicity, dark mindsets. And it also feels like they have this inner narrative of like, I can never get better, so then they don't even try to get better, you know? I'm just trying to say. But I really do think you tried your best with this one. And you look back on the past and you're like, okay, I did everything I could. I did everything within my power to help this person, to help heal this person, and it just never paid off for you. And so now you have no regrets about that past. So you're looking happily into the future. So whereas this person has a lot of regrets and maybe a lot of baggage when it comes to this connection, they may even want to apologize, but I don't see them apologizing anytime soon. It feels like more so that they just are in a lot of regret and sadness and sorrow and despair over this. But I really don't think you give this person too much thought, because you have your hands full here with your projects and the things that you're looking forward to in your future. You know, the manifestations that not only are you currently receiving from the looks of this part of the reading, but we can have endless ideas for manifestation, like it never, You know, like just because you achieved one goal or one manifestation doesn't mean you can't plan more for the future. And I feel like that is your mindset, especially because I feel like you're going to get a taste of your manifestations coming in, a taste of the karma that you've been putting out there being returned to you. And so I think that you're going to be very motivated for the future. You're going to be very optimistic about your future. And so you're not going to really give this person too much thought because you have healed from it. You've moved on. You know, you realize that that was just like a dead end, that, you know, it wasn't serving you. It was just taking from you. And you feel much happier now. And I feel like you kind of realize that maybe it's as a result of not having this person in your life anymore. But yeah, they're like in deep regret over this, whereas you are glowing up and having your big wins. Really. That's what it feels like. But yeah, it feels like they're very much ruminating in that energy and not really planning on coming towards you to apologize, which probably would be for the best, especially if you block this person. And you know, with their manipulative energy, you may feel like this person, like even if they did come forward to apologize, you could maybe see them as like, okay, you probably, from your perspective, it's like, okay, what is the catch here though? Why are you apologizing? Are you trying to reel me back in? Are you trying to manipulate me? Because it's like you can't unsee what you have seen from this person. You've seen the very depths of their soul. So I don't think it would even be a good idea for this person to approach you. They probably know better than that. Okay. Damn. Let's go into the Four of Wands. Clarify that, please, and make it clear. How close is the collective's manifestations with that Four of Wands? Please, and thank you, Spirit. Use and thank you. Okay, let's see what we got. Damn, what'd I say? Okay, clarifying that Four of Wands. We have the Nine of Wands, the Star card, Queen of Wands, and then bottom of the deck is the Three of Wands. So yeah, I think you're very much looking forward to the future in a positive, optimistic way. You see a bright future ahead of you. Also, double confirmation for Four of Wands. We just saw it in the last part, and here it is that we're clarifying. So I do think that that was a correct download about this Four of Wands being representative of you and like good things that you're coming into. And so it's very interesting how it starts out clarifying this Four of Wands with this Nine of Wands. This could have been like you freshly out of this last Seven of Swords relationship. And here you are broken, beaten, battered, hopefully just emotionally and mentally. Well, actually not hopefully, but you know, hopefully not literally is what I'm trying to say. But you were very much hurt and you built up a wall, and you could feel yourself maybe being a little bit standoffish with others, very mistrusting of others because of what you've gone through. But the beautiful thing about what came out here is like what follows that Nine of Wands is the Star card. And the Star card can actually be a very beautiful card for healing. I believe that it actually is supposed to be like the card after the Tower. So like the Tower falls down and the Star is here to heal. So something traumatic happens, say, and then it's like the healing begins. And I feel like the Star here could have even been something to do with like your spirituality. Maybe your spirituality gave you a sense of healing, regeneration, hope for the future, hope in yourself again. Because I see you feeding yourself, but also the collective as well. Like you heal not only yourself, but others as well. Like anybody around you, you very much heal. And I feel like it's because you went through this sort of metamorphosis here of healing yourself because like it's so beautiful, because then we go from that 9 of Wands here. There's that period of healing in the middle, but then it's like Queen of Wands. You come out the other side with confidence, with beauty, with passion, determination. And it's interesting too that she is looking this way and this 9 of Wands is looking this way. Almost like the Queen of Wands is looking to the future, whereas this 9 of Wands is looking towards the past. I feel like you are looking forward to the future. You're no longer looking at the past and ruminating in it, or, thinking long and hard about it and all that rough, raw energy. I feel like you've healed a lot, and you're showing up in a way that is probably very, I feel like this Queen of Wands speaks to like your true spirit, whereas that 9 of Wands was you in a more traumatized energy. I feel like you feel more authentic now, and you're more, you're not afraid to be authentic these days. You're also not afraid to go towards what you want out of life. You also see the bright side in things, whereas in the past maybe you have struggled with that. And I feel like you are looking towards the future with a very bright, happy, excited energy and perspective. I feel like you do see how your future is going to be so much brighter than your past. And it's because you went through this regeneration with the star, that healing, that rebirth. You really did transform yourself here. And I feel like this is something very beautiful and very rare. I feel like you should be very proud of yourself for going through this process, because not everybody does it. Not everybody cares to do it. This kind of work to heal yourself. I also feel like you're much more open and less closed off. This is clarifying that 4 of Wands. So I feel like if we look at the 4 of Wands through the lens of like you hitting or surpassing some sort of major milestone here, it's like as a result of you putting in this difficult healing work. You invested into yourself and into your own future, and your future is looking so much brighter. And it's interesting, this image too, it almost looks like the colors in the background are like that's what the future looks like, full of color, brightness, excitement, happiness. Also somewhat of a portal. So it's like because you're in this energy, the right state of mind, the right sort of energy, right sort of mindsets, you're setting yourself up for success and a beautiful future. And it feels like stability. In terms of romance, if that's something that you'd like to manifest, I feel like the 4 of Wands would definitely indicate a union. And I almost feel like it has something to do with your journey. It feels like when it comes to this person, if you are coming into union with someone, it feels like the reason why they're so drawn to you and why they want this union with you is because they are impressed by your backstory. The fact that you came from trauma, you pulled yourself out of that, you healed yourself, and you also affect other people in a very positive way, which I feel like I need to emphasize. And then you're like also way more confident. You go for the things you want out of life. You are driven by your passion, that beautiful, strong lion heart. Like you just have such a powerful heart space, which I feel like you use to motivate you, but you also like inspire people. You also have that heart space for others. Like I'm getting goosebumps right now. It feels like very significant. You're so beautiful. Like I want to like really emphasize how wonderful you are, because like you show up in a way not me getting emotional, but you show up in a way that you would have liked other people to show up for you. But yeah, this is what this person loves about you, is your backstory, how you really turned your life around in some major way. Because it could have gone down a completely different path, but you made that decision, like, I am going to change. I'm going to improve myself. I'm going to improve my life. I'm going to switch things around for myself. And so, especially the more you live in that truth, being unafraid to be that authentic, passionate, fiery sort of energy, this person's going to be incredibly attracted to that. So it's like a matter of time, I want to say. Because it's like, now that you're in this Queen of Wands energy, I feel like you're going to attract a lot of people, because the Queen of Wands is known for being pretty hot. But I feel like specifically your soulmate is going to be very attracted to you. And then once they get to know your backstory, I feel like that's going to impress them even more. And it probably will just make them fall even more in love with you. They see you as something very special, very rare. And they would be correct. I think this is a very rare energy to embody. Also, you're probably hella linked in with spirit. Like, you're very tapped in here. I almost feel like spirit had a part in all of this healing. Not necessarily, but definitely could be. Like, even if it wasn't spirit, it was something about finding your place here, finding a sense of purpose, finding a reason to live, and maybe something about serving the collective in some regard is part of that. Because I think you do have a huge heart here. Whew. And it deserves to be appreciated, and I think that's exactly what you're manifesting. People appreciating how freaking bomb you are. Also, this Three of Wands, the way that it keeps showing up, I feel like it's no mistake. Because this, as I said earlier, the time is now. It feels like it's literally just a matter of time before you see those ships come in. Before you see the payoff to all of your effort. It really does feel like it's going to come in sooner than you realize, these manifestations. And from what I've been getting through this whole reading, I feel like, sorry, I bumped my tripod. I think it might even be slightly overwhelming, because I feel like this is going to be multiple manifestations. I feel like this is going to be not just one manifestation, but it's like, maybe it's even like a domino effect, where it's like one falls into another, falls into another, falls into another, and suddenly your life just seems to be going really well, and you're just like, okay, let's roll with it. And it's because you believed in yourself. You believed that your future was going to be bright, that you would manifest what you want out of life. And now it's like, here's the payoff. I want to see what's underneath that Three of Wands. Six of Cups again. So yes, it's because you're so wonderful. The way you serve not only yourself, but others. I almost feel like saying that's why you're receiving these manifestations. Because you show up in this very loving heart. It feels like you're gonna finally feel like, because I feel like especially us sensitives, you know, we can be so sad sometimes, you know, feeling like we're the only ones that really care. And it's like, what good is it caring in a world that's so full of darkness and apathy? Whereas it's like, you have all the feelings. You care about so many things, and nobody else seems to care. Nobody else seems to feel, especially to the extent that you feel. But I feel like this is going to actually make you feel like, finally, my big heart is coming in handy for something positive. Because maybe you felt for a really long time, like, what is the point of being empathetic and caring and loving if I'm just going to be taken advantage of? And, you know, I'm just going to face all of these bad luck circumstances and stuff. I just want to look underneath that Six of Cups out of curiosity. Six of Swords. Do you see these repeating numbers here? 6, 6. 6633, 44 maybe, 1010. Those could all be repeating numbers that are going to be significant signs that these blessings are about to come in for you. And that Six of Swords is actually very beautiful because it's all about moving away from that dark past, looking towards the future with an optimistic perspective. Like the future that's ahead of you is going to be calmer, and it's going to be full of more opportunities, more brightness, more happiness. And I'm called to say that this Six of Cups could even be like, now finally you're going to be on the receiving end to all of that kindness that you've been putting out into the universe, into the collective for so long. It's going to be coming back to you, I feel. Whew. Beautiful energy. Let's go on to the Ten of Swords. Please and thank you, Spirit. Can you clarify that Ten of Swords? How close is the manifestations of the collective? The collective's manifestations. Please and thank you. How close are these manifestations for the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. How close are they? Please and thank you. Okay, let's see. Oh my. Wow. Wow. Okay, so clarifying that Ten of Swords, we have the Moon. Okay, I'm getting a download, but Ace of Cups, the Fool, Death card, Queen of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is that Six of Swords. I like when Spirit does that, like repeating bottom of the deck energy. Also, I just need to mention this because I feel like it's very significant. And I'm usually not those types of intuitives that, you know, because sometimes, you know, mediums, psychics, intuitives, they sometimes get tastes in their mouth. I usually am not that kind of intuitive. I usually do not just randomly get tastes in my mouth like that. But I feel like it's very significant that I tasted turkey with the gravy. And so that automatically made me think of Thanksgiving. So I'm almost wondering if that is a message from Spirit about the timing. Because one thing to know about me, I'm a vegetarian. I haven't eaten turkey in years. So the fact that it was specifically turkey and gravy, I'm like, okay, that can't be any coincidence here. So yeah, I'm almost wondering if like something really good is going to either happen around Thanksgiving or in the month of Thanksgiving. But yeah, and so I was getting a message right away because this is clarifying the Ten of Swords. We have the Moon. I think that you think you may be in a worse place than you actually are. And it feels like that's kind of your perspective. That's probably your thoughts, your anxieties. Maybe because you've been through a lot of pain, a lot of unfortunate circumstances, a lot of betrayal. You've really been through it. You've been through the ringer probably multiple times, let's just say. Because like the Ten of Swords is a very rough energy. But that Moon card indicates to me that this is just because you can't see what's happening behind the scenes right now. Maybe you don't have clear 3D proof that your manifestations are coming. And so now you're feeling like, I'm never going to receive these manifestations. I just keep working and working and I see no result. And then you get that sense of fear. That fear of like, really, like, what if what I'm doing doesn't matter? What if it isn't changing? What if I can't manifest? What if, you know, all of those thoughts bubble up when we doubt ourselves and when we're afraid, when we don't see things clearly. But then it feels like suddenly there's light. The Ace of Cups. I feel like pointing out the dove above. That rhymed. But there's a dove there. And I think it was the last few readings that I did. Outside there was like a pair of doves. So, and it's funny because this is the Ace of Cups. um you definitely could be manifesting love, or somebody's really deeply in their feelings for you that they want to express that. um and then the Fool card follows that, and the sun in the background, that's like, yeah, the golden background as well, so like a lot of happiness, a lot of brightness, the sun that's necessary to light up what was in the dark, what was hidden from you is coming to light. Here is a new beginning. There's also like that aspect of like spirit guiding you towards this new beginning, and it's going to feel like it's divinely meant for you. You're going to be excited, you're going to be eager, enthusiastic here about the future, about this new beginning here. Interesting that that's followed by the Death card. Oh, at first I thought there was two here, but it's just the Death card. Yeah. I feel like maybe this new beginning is coming as a result of you going through a major transformation. Also ending things that needed to end. Something about how you've made the right choices here that is setting you on this path towards this new beginning here. There's a sun in this picture as well. I think it's meant to be a sunset, but to me it feels almost like a sunrise. A new dawn, a new day. You've removed the people that needed to be removed from your life. You cleaned out your life, cleared away the dust and grime. Because it's like, not only did you transform, but you also transformed who you're surrounded by. You transformed how you look at your life, how you see, how your life has played out. Feels like there was necessary endings taking place here. But also, a big part of the Death card is that transformation energy. You and, the Death card, that's like a major arcana, like very significant transformation here. Also, if you think about it, death is very powerful, especially how it's like personified here. Like nobody can cheat death. Death has the ultimate say, And there's even a guy here on the ground with his crown fallen off, so he's like supposed to be a king. So it's like no matter how much power you have in this reality that we live in, no matter who you are, how important you are, how many riches you have, in the end, that doesn't matter because everybody's going to die eventually. And death is the ultimate equalizer. We're all the same in death's eyes, but because you're in that mode of action and being maybe the one to cause endings, to transform, I almost feel like you're in the driver's seat here as death. And I don't want to say that in a bad way. I feel like it's just because you're empowering yourself through these endings. You're empowering yourself through this transformation. I feel like you're going to be incredibly powerful. Also, it's like death's on the go here. So it's almost like he just knows that no one can possibly stand in his way. No matter how hard they try, no matter how hard they fight, like they are not going to hold back a death. And for some reason, I feel like you're death in this metaphor. No one is going to stop you. No one is going to stand in your way. You are all too powerful for any of that. And so you move forward with confidence now, self-assuredness now. You know what the hell you are, who the hell you are. And it's like, I've been through so much at this point that I know I can overcome anything, and there is no such thing as an obstacle. I'm just saying, like, it's a very powerful but very beautiful energy. I've never really looked at the death card like that, but that's what I'm getting. I don't know. There's something else. There's another message I'm getting with that. Kind of reminds me of the Seven of Swords person, where it's almost like because you're so darn powerful and almost unavoidable, people from your past, especially the people that did you wrong, are going to be looking at you like, fuck. Because either it's going to be a reminder of the things they did to you and how it didn't defeat you, it didn't destroy you like they thought it would. They kind of just have to look at you blazing through your own life, achieving everything, being unstoppable. And everybody from your past who has done you wrong has to look up at you and see that you were not destroyed. You were not defeated. And especially now, I feel like you're going to be at your most powerful. Nothing is going to stand in your way. Nothing, no one is going to stand in your way. And it feels like everybody from your past is going to see that and recognize that. I like that message a lot. Okay. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a very different energy from the Death card. But you know, I think this is going to be like how you appear on the surface, because I'm pretty sure that you're not going to be like a skull. Skull and crossbones, or like a skeleton riding a horse. I highly doubt that that's going to be how you show up physically. Even if you do have that like all powerful energy. I feel like you're going to be showing up more so in this beautiful light of like being the Queen of Pentacles. Somebody that's incredibly stable, incredibly abundant, secure, kind, giving, open. Also kind of just minding your own business, kind of just in your own little world, focusing on how you can make the most out of things, how you can bring in those manifestations. You're very much focused on yourself, your own life, what you have going on. So I don't even think, and maybe that's going to be part of it that triggers those people from your past, the people that really tried to stop you, that tried to sabotage you on your path here. I feel like that's gonna bother them. That's gonna make them so upset, because they're gonna see you in this powerful energy, unstoppable, but you have like this humbleness to you. And I don't think you're even gonna be looking around to see like, is my ex here, to see how like much I've grown up, how successful I am. Is he here so I can gloat? Like, you're just so unbothered. And that's going to bother the hell out of the people that wanted to see you fail. I'm just saying. Because you're in this beautiful, humble energy. You're focused on just what you have going on. You're not looking around for other people's validation. You don't give a fuck, probably, about what the people of the past have to say about you and what you're doing. And that's gonna get to them. That's gonna drive them absolutely insane. It's almost like that bothers them more. Like, it's not just the success, but the fact that you do not give a shit about them anymore. Like, you're literally onto bigger and better things, and they know that, and that kills them inside. So it's almost like your success could even be contributing to this 10 of Swords for other people. The people that wanted to see you fail, that wanted to see you in that 10 of Swords energy, now they're there. That's for them now. But it feels like karma, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. I feel like this speaks to how much more stable you are in your life. I think you also are really good with collaborating. I think you have a good support system around you, people that you feel comfortable working with, people that actually help you maintain stability, security, and don't try to sabotage you, don't try to like break that down. They want to help lift you up. And I feel like maybe even that's part of why you're receiving these blessings, this abundance, this stability. You've rebuilt your entire life in a positive way, and you have such positive energy and vibration to you that it's like, it truly is like night and day. Like this, you are not the same person that you used to be. And you have the right sort of community around you. You have the right sort of support system. And you've built up that stability, that sturdy foundation to put all of the wonderful things that you're achieving on top of that. You have that very sturdy, unshakable foundation now. And it's like, even if people really want to break that down, it feels like it's immovable. What's a word for that? Like, just unshakable completely. You're just not, you're not even in this realm anymore, is what I want to say, because it's like, you're so ahead. Like, you, like, literally, I really do feel like the people that even want to sabotage you still, that try to sabotage you still, they feel like they have no impact on you and what you're achieving. And rightfully so, I feel. It is just like, you have that confidence of like, I've been through so much, that you really think that this small little thing that you're trying to put in my way is going to stop me from achieving my goals, my manifestations? Hell no. You're just going to be unshakable. You're going to be all powerful, unshakable, enthusiastic about the future. Your future's looking bright. You're looking bright. Damn. Gotta suck for your exes or whoever hurt you in the past. Maybe not just your exes. But again, it feels like karma. So what can I say? But beautiful, beautiful energy on your end. I think you're either thriving now or you're going to be thriving. And it's all because of you, boo. It's all because of you. Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So yes, your future is looking very positive. I want to see what's underneath that. It's the Three of Wands again. Like, yeah, your future's looking bright. And this is going to be coming in sooner than you realize. What's underneath that Three of Wands? The Six of Cups again. So it's because you have a wonderful, beautiful heart. People have to look back on their past and see what a beautiful ray of sunshine you were. And they gotta be like, ah, oh, damn, you know? And I just took advantage of that. I didn't even appreciate it when I had it. I'm gonna look underneath that Six of the Kid. 10 of Pentacles. I can't make this shit up. I really can't. The 10 of freaking Pentacles. That is so much stability, abundance. That is happy home, happy life. This is like, especially if you're looking for a solid union with someone, if you want to build a family with someone, if you want to have a home and family, this is the card that indicates that that's exactly what you're going to get. And I want to encourage you to stay in this loving, beautiful, vulnerable energy, because that is what's setting you up for the success, baby, okay? Do not doubt yourself. Do not think that there's no place for you in this world. Your kindness, your soft heart, your gentleness, it's necessary, and it's going to lead you to your success. So keep going, keep being the beautiful, loving you that you are. And your future's looking bright, baby. I'm just saying. That's beautiful energy. Honestly, this reading has kind of gotten me in my field a little bit. I'm very emotional over it, because I really do feel like you are coming into great things that have no reflection on your past. Like, they're not going to be anywhere near what you've gone through. Your future's looking so freaking bright, and you deserve it. Okay, bottom of this deck is the Six of Pentacles. I feel like this is a good sign that you're going to be receiving, because there's also that balance part of the Six of Pentacles where it's like, you probably have been giving and giving and giving for so long. Now it's time for you to receive. Let's see what's underneath that Six of Pentacles. The Empress? Like, can I say more? The Empress. You're going to be hot. You're going to be divinely connected. People are going to see you as abundant, powerful, like in your power. Highly intuitive, yeah. Sturdy like a tree, baby. Ain't nobody going to break you down. You're going to stand the test of time. Like, it's literally going to just be so obvious that you're successful. You have it going on. You are radiating light from within. And you're just unstoppable. And again, you deserve all of this. All of this beautiful energy that is coming into you and coming into your life. It's looking very beautiful. And again, it's going to be undeniable to everyone around you and people from your past that you have it going on. Your life is looking good. Let's break out the Oracle. See if there's any extra messages. Please and thank you, Spirit. Any additional messages as to, or maybe just anything that has to do with the collective manifestations. Okay, I'll take that one, but this pile that fell out. Definitely not going to take that because that was way too many. But let's see. Should we just go with these two? I'm just going to see if there's anything else that's myself real quick. Okay. All right. So, ooh, this looks good. Okay, so the first one, we have the Vulture and Asphodel. This represents upheaval. I think of this very much as like a Tower card. But the thing about the Tower card, it's so necessary because so it pretty much means that the foundation that was put in place was really not meant to last the test of time. And so it kind of had to crumble in order for something better, more sturdier to be put in its place. So I really do feel like that whole past of yours has crumbled and you have built up something way more beautiful, way more stable, way more secure that will stand the test of time. The other card that came out is the Hawk and Thistle. This represents graceful persistence. What did I say? Just keep being your beautiful, loving self, and this will pay off for you tremendously. You also got a way about you that just feels effortless. That really is like, you make it look good. Like you healing yourself, you restarting your life, transforming yourself, transforming your life, creating all this stability and abundance. You make it look good, and dare I say, you make it look easy because of the way that you go about it. It's just so graceful. But through that, I feel like you're going to inspire so many because it's like you went through it, like really went through it. And so people that are going through it currently, you know, we all go through our struggles. We all have our dark moments. And they're going to look at you like a ray of sunshine and like the light at the end of the tunnel. Like if the collective can do it, then maybe I can too. So keep going. You're going to be a story for the ages, truly. Bottom of the deck, this is another beautiful one. The Duck in Chrysanthemum, this represents luck. Luck is going to be on your side, baby. People are going to be seeing you as a lucky duck. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, some people are probably going to be like, you know, they just got lucky, blah, blah, blah. Your haters probably. But you're going to know that you worked your ass off to get to this point. You're going to know that it wasn't just luck. Maybe Spirit, you know, might have a thing for you, you know, in terms of like wanting to support you, protect you on your path because they know you're doing great things. But it definitely is not luck alone. It was hard work, determination, and that ability to never give up. So be excited for these manifestations because you deserve every single one of them. You deserve all of the good things. Oh, this reading was beautiful. That was, I needed to pick me up for the day, and I think this reading was it. So I hope that you like this reading, and I hope that it resonated. If it did resonate, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you liked my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time they upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.